game is lame and absurd, but you spit. You need to sit back and observe a certified pimp. So oh yes he is. I mean that boy just a shit. So messy is. Fresh to death. Ain't nobody fresh as he is. They can't compare. Won't get next to him because he's so fly. I mean the boy's so clean. From his white tee on down to those jeans. You see the ice in the pink.
Good morning, or what is it? Oh, good afternoon. Wow, I'm late, I know. Welcome to my daily commentary. I'm your host, Ken Jackson, and this is the Ken Jackson Experience. I want to follow up on the breaking news from last night with MTG resigning from Congress. I have to say, I was surprised, of course, as I'm sure many of you were. But I feel kind of conflicted about that, to tell you the truth, because as much of a polarizing figure she's been since she's been a member of Congress, I do believe that she was a needed member because of her radical, sometimes comical and insane views and comments. I feel like we needed that because it shows us that everybody in America doesn't think the same, you know, and our government does need to represent everybody, no matter how crazy we might think they are, or how much of their views that we may disagree with. There are people in this country that do agree with them, and you know, whether we like it or not, they need to be represented. But let me play this back again, what she said in her video, and then we'll comment about it on the other side. Take a listen.
Hi, everyone. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never, ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026.
All right, there you have it. Her own words. She's giving it all up. I'm not going to say that I'm going to miss her, because I'm definitely not going to miss her. However, a lot of the things that she said are real. We need to get big pharma and corporations out of our government politics. We need to have a government, that oh my goodness, that represents real Americans. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And whether we like it or not, she represents a lot of real Americans. Her views were radical, and her methods were definitely unconventional. But she represents a big portion of this country, and so it's kind of bittersweet that she's quitting. I am glad though, because it lessens the Republican majority, and they're going to have to scramble to fill that seat. And Georgia's a very, very important seat, as you all know. So I don't know how it's all going to turn out. It's going to be interesting moving forward. It's crazy too, because Trump immediately had something negative to say. Of course, he was pouncing on her, when she started, speaking out about the Epstein files. Trump was always trying to make it a Democratic hoax and this and that. We all know MTG, she's definitely not a Democrat hoax. She is full-blown MAGA, probably one of the president's biggest supporters during his campaign. And she wants to know what's in those Epstein files too. One, mainly because Donald Trump, you yourself said you were going to release all of the files day one. And as soon as you hit day one, no files were released. That bullshit that you claim that you all put out was already out there. We want to get to the meat and potatoes. We want to see everything that's in those files. And we as Americans have a right to know what's in these files, because it has so much influence on our politics in this country. It's supposed to be we the people, so we the people need to know what the hell you government officials are hiding. And let the chips fall where they may, whether it be Democrats, Republicans, Independents, or hooty-hoos. It doesn't matter. If you're in those files and you're shown to be a pedophile or just a outright criminal, then guess what? Your ass needs to be dealt with. And unfortunately, I don't think that we're going to get to see everything that's in those files. Donald Trump makes it obvious that he's a guilty party. He obviously knows what's in there, because if he didn't know, or if he wasn't deeply entrenched in there, then he would have been the first to release him. Because, as I said, he's been trying to make it a Democrat hoax ever since his name was mentioned as being in those files. So also, a lot of people around Donald Trump need to be worried if the Democrats get back into power, because I think the Democrats are done playing nice. I really do. I think that if they get another shot at holding power, I think they're going to be a lot of heads rolling, Now, keep in mind, Democrats aren't afraid of prosecutions. They prosecute Democrats and Republicans equally. And that's just the facts, What's crazy is that all of the Democrats, most of the Democrats that have been, brought in on charges and convicted are gone away. They're gone away. Not the Republicans, though. Republicans do everything they can to shield their members from prosecution. And unfortunately, we have a Supreme Court that's been compromised. Congress has been compromised ever since the Republicans got back into power. And it's time for a change. It's long been time for a change. And that goes for Democrats, too. Chuck Schumer, you need to go. Fortunately, Nancy Pelosi has announced her retirement. You know, great Speaker of the House. I can't deny her track record. She did a phenomenal job during her time in government. But she's, 85 years old? It's time to go. It's time to go. The temporary bromance between Mamdani and Trump yesterday, you know all that was just for the cameras. Trump hasn't changed his thoughts or feelings about Mamdani. And personally, I think Mamdani is way smarter than Trump. And Trump got played again in front of all of us. And that's not to say that it's a bad thing that Mamdani played him, because Mamdani, in my opinion, is going to do good things for New York if the legislature gets behind him and the people get behind him and let him do his job. You elected him, so he's going to take over in January. And since you elected him, let the man do his work. You know what I'm saying? Let him do his job. You know, you like what he campaigned on, obviously enough to go out and vote for him. So when this guy is sworn into office, let him work. You know, don't oppose him. Don't jump in his way. I mean, unless, you know, it's required. I mean, if he gets in and starts doing some really fucked up shit, you know, that goes against the law, goes against the state constitution or the federal constitution, then obviously, yes, you know, block all the unlawful shit. But if the man gets in there and he's trying to make a serious effort to make some changes in New York for the better for the people, then let the man do his work. Donald Trump got into office and immediately the corruption started. That's why he needs to go. He shouldn't have gotten into office in the first place, being a 34-time convicted felon, 5-time draft dodging coward who has no business being the commander-in-chief of our military, an adjudicated sexual predator. You know, all these things are things that should have kept Donald Trump from getting into office in the first place. However, the Democrats, who had 4 years, they had 4 whole years to do something about Donald Trump, and they let him skate by. So I don't blame the Republicans for all of the issues that are going on. I blame Democrats equally because they didn't handle business that they should have been handling. Merrick Garden, you, in my opinion, dropped the ball, bro. You should have prosecuted Trump to the fullest extent of the law. Trump should be sitting in a jail cell right now. He should be, but he's not. You let him skate through. And then the Supreme Court. All you Supreme Court justices, the conservative ones who are making it possible for Donald Trump to continue to run this crime organization from the White House, all of you need to be removed. I wish we had a way of removing Supreme Court justices. Why on earth is this a lifetime appointment? None of them have been elected or chosen by the people. They get chosen by a president. Okay, so what? The president was elected, okay, but he shouldn't have the power and authority to appoint people to lifetime positions, especially when it involves the highest court in the land. Think about that. You know, the founding fathers weren't perfect. They made a lot of mistakes. They did. This was one of them, you know, by making the Supreme Court a lifetime appointment by the president. I think Supreme Court justices need to have term limits. They need to be limited to, say, 8 years, just like a president. You know, same with congressmen. Congressmen and senators need to be limited. I think they should be limited, you know, to 6 years. The Senate is a 6-year term, but that should be it. They should be, you know, limited to 6 years, or, you know, give them 2 terms. Maybe each office should be limited to 2 terms, period. So that would be 12 years for for senators because each of their terms are 6 years. 8 years for president because presidency is a 4-year term, and I think that you know, that's how it should be. Congressmen as well. Congressmen should be limited to maybe the same as senators, a 12-year term, you know, or maybe an 8-year term, you know, break it up so that, you know, they overlap. Hey, you know, I don't have all the solutions. I just have suggestions and things that I think, my opinions. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, though. So, you know, in my opinion, that's what it should be. Now, we have a clown in the White House, which is why we got a circus show going on. We got a full-fledged 3-ring circus going on in D.C. right now. Trump really needs to be taken care of. I can't even say that enough. Why he gets the support that he gets, I don't know. I get it that people thought that they were going to get something different. They thought they were going to get something that would change things, but it only made it worse. Yeah, Trump drained the swamp. He drained the swamp. He dredged it out a whole lot deeper, and he threw in all brand new critters to swim around in that motherfucker. Now it's murkier than it's ever been. So, what can I say? I'm just another American who is fed up. You know, I'm disgusted. I'm embarrassed at this point to be an American because, you know, the current administration has us looking real crazy on the world stage. You know, it's not even... I don't even think it's safe to travel to foreign countries and tell motherfuckers that you're an American when you get there. I'm afraid somebody might do something to you, you know, and it's just crazy. Be careful out there if you are traveling the world. Be careful wherever you go not to make it too obvious that you are American. Yeah, damn it, we should be proud, but we can't be proud of what we got in D.C. right now. So that's that. That's all I got for y'all today. This is my daily rant, my daily comments or wrap up or whatever the hell you want to call it. But check it out. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. This is the Ken Jackson Experience right here at Crazy Baby TV World. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It won't cost you a dime. And as always, I don't sell shit, but I talk shit. Peace. I'm out.